On August 6, 2012, the Lewisville Fire Department responded to a structure fire in a single-family residence. Upon arrival, crews encountered a one-story house heavily involved in fire. Firefighter Andy Allison was on the first due engine and initiated an interior attack. Andy and his captain extinguished the main body of fire and continued through the structure, extinguishing fire, enabling other crews to perform search and begin salvage operations to protect the personal belongings of the homeowner. During the initial phase of firefighting operations, Andy directed a hose stream at a large body of fire in the laundry room and attic area above it. During this operation, Andy contacted a dryer, which was energized with 220-volt electrical service. Andy was electrocuted for several seconds before falling to his knees. Andy was immediately removed from the structure and placed in the care of Lewisville Fire Department paramedics. He was transported to a local hospital and examined for trauma associated with electrical exposure. Since this injury, Andy has been cared for by 11 doctors, 7 of which are specialists, 4 dentists, 1 counselor, 5 physical therapists, and 1 vestibular therapist. Andy has suffered a left knee meniscus tear, which required knee surgery. His right leg had 4th-degree burns internally, and he has mobility issues with his leg, which causes a limp and requires him to walk with a cane. This leg also has severe muscle atrophy. Andy has optic nerve burn injuries causing permanent contrast issues. He also has a vestibular nerve burn which will not regenerate and causes vertigo. Andy has left frontal lobe brain damage that impacts memory and cognitive skills. He herniated L5 and S1 and fractured T4, T5, and T6, which cause spinal cord compression and lipomatosis. The treatment for the thoracic compression fractures resulted in the fusion of T3 through T9 with 2 rods and 12 screws. As if he did not have enough to deal with, Andy has begun a comprehensive dental treatment plan to fix 14 chipped, cracked, or dead teeth. When he was energized, he clenched his jaw, driving his teeth into his jawbone. Upon completion, Andy will have received 9 implants and numerous root canals and crowns. The injuries that Andy sustained forced him to retire, as he will never be without significant deficits. He suffered this horrific tragedy while serving others and did so without hesitation. Andy is married with 2 sons. Since this incident, Andy has a 10-pound weight restriction and has never been able to hold his own children. His fear now is for his family's future. Andy Allison is a hero. He will continue to deal with injuries sustained on August 6, 2012, most of which are not even known, for the rest of his life. Andy Allison is the epitome of a public servant. Through his struggles and pain, he always manages a smile. He is now committed to the next chapter of his life, serving firefighters through education, counseling, and mentorship. My name is Les Stevens. I'm the Fire Chief of the San Marcos, Texas Fire Department. I'm also currently the 3rd Vice President of the Texas Fire Chiefs Association. I met Andy Allison about 1 year ago at FDIC in 2017. Andy was there to present a class on his injuries and some of the lessons learned and some of the new technologies that were available to people in Andy's situation. I got to spend most of the week with Andy. I found Andy a very inspiring and motivational individual. Never has someone with such serious injuries managed to have such a positive attitude and a positive outlook. As I spent more time with Andy, I came to realize that the system that Andy found himself in and that the Lewisville Fire Department, the city of Lewisville, encountered after Andy's injuries wasn't really capable of taking care of Andy appropriately. And I contrast it with how well we are able to take care of the families of our fallen police officers and firefighters who suffer a line of duty death. Andy suffered a line of duty injury, a career-ending line of duty injury, but most of the benefits that would have been available to Andy and his family had he have perished on that day are not available to someone who survives. And I started working with Andy, Chief McGrath from Lewisville, and others to try to identify and better this system. On February the 28th in Austin, Texas at 1 p.m., we're going to assemble now for the 3rd time a group of stakeholders, fire chiefs, HR professionals, police chiefs, association representatives, both from police and fire, from around the state of Texas, to have a discussion about this issue. We've got to do a better job of supporting people in Andy's situation. Andy was a very young firefighter. He wasn't fully vested in his pension system, and he had to take a medical retirement, which dramatically impacted his financial outlook. A lot of benefits that would have been available to Andy and Andy's family had he have perished were not available because he survived. Yet the cost of ongoing care, both medical and other psychological care, will continue to outpace any income that Andy has. We want to look at what changes can be made legislatively to address this issue. We also have tasked the Texas Line of Duty Death Task Force with taking on line of duty injuries as well as a resource for firefighters and police officers around the state who suffer career-ending injuries, to be a resource for them to help with benefits that are available, to be able to assist with filling out and completing applications, knowing where different financial aid can be found to better assist our members going forward. And then lastly, we want to educate the firefighters, the police officers, the fire chiefs, and the police chiefs to know that those resources are available should they encounter an issue such as Andy's. Andy's been very courageous in allowing us to use his story as the backdrop from this discussion. But what I've learned as I've spent a year working on this is there are many other firefighters and police officers similarly situated. They weren't electrocuted. Many of them suffered burns. Some are police officers who were simply sitting in a patrol car when it was struck by another motorist that suffered career-ending injuries. We want to bring attention to their plight, and we also want to work through the system, the workers' comp system, legislatively, and our pension systems to better take care of and assist the families of our firefighters and police officers who suffer career-ending line of duty injuries.